morning, good afternoon. Let us know where you are today. Where are you zooming in from?
Zooming.
Hello, Kathy. Hi, Clay. Hi, Dave, Ed. Hi, Fatin, Festus, Godin, JP, Jason, John. Where are you all calling in from today? Hi, Theo in Winchester, Virginia. All right. Welcome. Good afternoon. Hello, hello. I see we have Mason, Oliver, Ronaldo, Ron, Takuya. Hi, Theo. Hi, Kai in Mountain View, California. Hi, Takuya in the San Francisco Bay. Hello. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Cal. Hi, Carlton. All right, we're going to get started here in about 30 seconds, just giving everyone time to get situated. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Hi in Chicagoland. Hi, JP. Hi from the Bay Area. Ed. Hi, John. Good to see you. Good morning in SoCal. All right, well, welcome and thank you each for joining us here today. We do this every 2 weeks, so many of you are returning guests and I appreciate you coming. I commend you for taking time out of your busy days to learn more about the different technology services that are available to help your organization, to help your customers. It's always, a busy packed week, and I appreciate you taking that time. So my name is Sonia Moline. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Chief Information Officer at Technology Source, and I am thrilled to welcome each of you today. So we are gathering to share and discuss insights relating to the evolving dynamics of customer loyalty and customer experience and their implications for investments in customer service and support. So I'll be moderating today in collaboration with my colleague at Fusion Connect, Thomas Sprinkle, a channel leader who we've worked with for many years. I've known for even longer before I joined Technology Source, and glad that I get to keep working with you, Tom. How are you today?
Doing great, doing great. Love working with you as well. Excited to present and hopefully have a couple light bulbs go off today.
Great, and where are you zooming in from today?
Carlsbad in California, down by San Diego.
All right. And then I'm also thrilled to be here today with industry thought leader Tony Mastromateo from TalkDesk. How are you today? I think you're in Boston. Is that right, Tony?
Indeed, I am. Metro West Boston. Hi, Sonia. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Thanks to you both. So to give everyone some background into today's discussion, TalkDesk Research is dedicated to crafting impartial, market-driven research reports. Recently, they released a new report titled The Future of Customer Loyalty. For anyone on today's call, you can have access to that report. If you want to just type it into the chat box that you're interested, we will make sure that we get that out to you. So this was based on surveys done of consumers and CX professionals around the world. The research aims to better understand how customer relationships with companies they buy from are changing, as well as what drives customers to, in turn, be loyal to the companies and how that can vary. You'll be surprised if you look at this report, how it varies across generations. I was very surprised at some of the generational driven things that come up with customer experience and loyalty. For what that might mean, we look to pinpoint the drivers in customer loyalty. And today, this is going to be very conversational. You can ask questions throughout the session. It's an interactive experience with you, the audience. Please use the chat function if you have any comments, and then we have a Q&A section. If you do ask questions in the Q&A section, you will be entered into a drawing. Thanks to Fusion Connect, they've offered an Echo show, so that will be given away at the end. So that'll be fun. And that's just based on that drawing. So again, we will address as many comments as we can throughout the session. And now I'd like to just dive right into this conversation and begin by exploring what is it exactly that we mean by loyalty. So first, let's just define customer loyalty or loyalty. So for me, the most basic way to describe it is we can say a customer is loyal when they make the company their first choice for a product or service. Possibly they even go out of their way or spend more for working with that organization. It also has, to me, an element of trust. So it's not the default. And in this market report, if you do read it, I learned that 86% of consumers say that they're loyal to just 5 brands. That means across all the services that are needed, there's only 5 brands that they actually stay loyal to. So that to me was just some insight that's interesting. And the benefits to companies who earn the loyalty are pretty clear. So what are some steps that an organization can actually take to earn that customer loyalty? So we have our 2 panelists here today. We have these questions. We'd love to kind of get started, and also in the process, learn more about Fusion Connect as well as TalkDesk. So who wants to take that first question about what are some steps? Okay, Tom.
All right, so we'll jump in real quick. I think it's a brilliant piece of research, and I'm glad you really brought it to the table. And it is, we're going to focus this call around the concept that a contact center can be the core of a positive customer experience that plays right into that question. So where I would go with that is, I personally think of the 5, to your point, the 5 brands that I'm loyal to, right? And to me, there's a couple of defining things. Number one, they just work, right? Whether you're buying shoes or whether you're buying appliances or whatever, they just work, right? The reliability, to Sonia's point, that's a trust thing, right? But one of the other things that I would say that really just tips the scales is they're just easy. They're easy to do business with. They're easy to order from. They're easy to get in touch with. They're responsive. They hear you when you complain, and they make steps to resolve it. But they're easy and attentive. And to me, that is the crux of exactly what we're talking about here today with TalkDesk. That in fact, we will point to you to a system that is so kind of robust and all-encompassing that it will simplify not only a company's efforts to support their internal and external customers, but it will also make it easier for people to just simply feel heard, feel connected, and feel responded to. Tony, what would you add to that?
Well, I like how you open that up with just you sort of like the product, right? Or some facsimile of what you said there. What came to mind for me is familiarity, right? The pizza that I like, the phone service that I like, the cable service that I like, whatever it is that I'm working with, I just like it, and so I want to stay with them in that regard. But if it's hard for me to work with them, then I'm going to walk away from it. I know personally, I've worked with, I might choose to work with somebody who maybe even their service is not as great as the next service. But if I'm comfortable, and this is the second half of it, if I'm comfortable with that service, if I feel like, going back to the loyalty question, if it's somebody who I really feel like I can engage with and they can engage with me, then I might actually choose them for their service before, even though maybe I know that somebody else's product is better. Obviously, if there's a giant gap, then I'm going to go to the other product. But if something is relatively close, even if I think, well, the other guy is better, but you know what? I've been working with this company. They know me. I know them. I'm comfortable. That's why I'm loyal. But there's a lot of things that can drive that, and these are the things that we're going to explore in your slide deck. So I'm not going to get ahead of what we're going to talk about. But there's ways for me to have a great customer experience that is wash, rinse, and repeat. It comes back around again and again, so that it's familiar to me and it's comfortable, that we can drive through contact center technology.
So I wasn't planning on doing this, but I saw a question pop up in the Q&A that I thought was really relevant and germane. Their point is that customer loyalty is somewhat intangible, so therefore, how do you really measure it? And good question. I hadn't given it a lot of thought, but the 2 questions that come to the top of my mind for me is, do they repurchase, right? I mean, if they're going to buy sneakers from you, one of my best examples of customer service is Chewy.com for me, buy dog toys and cat toys and food and stuff like that. Amazing customer service, by the way, and I'm very loyal to them. And so they come to mind when Sonia says, "Hey, who's your top 5?" They're one of them for me. Very easy to do business with, but I buy from them regularly, right? And I buy from them regularly because I get good service. I'm supported. I trust them. I'm loyal to them. But they also make it easy, which was my other point. The other thing I would say too is beyond just simply reordering as a measure, another measure I would say is referrals, right? If you're really super stoked and you think these guys are that incredible, you're going to kind of spread the word. So that would be that. Tony, do you have any thoughts on that question?
I recently had I've ordered new cell phones through Verizon. I also had some Verizon Fios service recently too. And as soon as I started telling stories about Verizon, people go, "Oh, Verizon." I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. Let me tell you about the great customer experience I had." So even myself, as I went into both of those experiences, even I was like, "Oh, Verizon." And then I had a great customer experience. I'm like, it actually wasn't that bad. So as soon as I had a conversation on it and someone sort of had that same attitude, I'm like, honestly, they took care of me. They were responsive. Again, not taken away from what we're going to talk about and present. I was able to do. I ordered brand new cell phones for my family, all on chat. I never spoke to anybody. I'd get a confirmation message on my cell phone to in a text message to click on for security reasons. An email came through. I clicked on the email, which confirmed something back to the agent who was on chat. I never spoke with anybody. And I had this great experience that I'm going to tell everybody about it, frankly. Although there's this argument that says you only tell 1 or 2 people when you have a great experience. When you have a bad experience, to tell everybody, right?
So true. So true.
But yeah, no, it was a good. I mean, for those reasons, again, maybe somebody has a better service, but it's hard for me to throw them under the bus when I honestly, anecdotally, I can say I had these great experiences.
Good deal. Well, tell you what, let's jump into a couple quick slides that I think will give everybody a bit of an overview of where we're going with this topic today. And then let me present so everybody sees my screen clearly. Bam. Okay. So real quick, again, I was introduced earlier. My name is Tom. I am with Fusion Connect, and Fusion Connect is a company out of Atlanta, Georgia. We're about 800 people strong, and we have a wonderful organization. But we are essentially what we in many places would call a technology aggregator. We help you bring multiple technologies together and put them on one bill. And so what we're talking about here today is one of our technologies. Our company mantra is connect, protect, and accelerate. We help companies get connected to different technologies on the internet. We're also an ISP. We supply internet connectivity, but then we also protect you through security and support. And then we hopefully we've built a firm, solid foundation for you to begin to then really mount the charge and accelerate your business. And there's one slide that we're going to talk to in particular that really talks to that acceleration point. We at Fusion Connect believe in this sort of bottom-up pyramid where the customer is all important and king. And literally, I work for the customer, the managers work for me, and the C-suite works for the managers. Total upside down servant leadership type of mentality. Look, this is a daily mission, if you will. You're never perfect at it. You're always working to refine and get better at it. But for 2 years now, the new leadership of Fusion Connect has really walked this out and lived it, and it's been refreshing and changing, and they're very empowering. They give us a lot of different ability to empower decisions at the ground level without having to have everything go up to the C-suite. And I've literally presented side by side next to the CEO, and he says this and he walks it out. It's really a refreshing change. This is a little bit of what I'll kind of call our technology bubble. This is everything we do starting from the bottom up. We are, as I said, an ISP. We connect you to different companies that can get you onto the internet. We can provide, we do have our own backbone. Basically, that means performance, quality, security. We can help with different technologies, like one of the hottest ones in the industry is SD-Wan. Unified Communications UCaaS, and we're obviously talking about what we call CCaaS, Contact Center as a Service today. And we have a bunch of other tools in our tool belt, if you will. We do have a 5-point technology guarantee that basically says that we'll install it on time. You'll stay up and stay connected if you follow our lead. If you don't, then there's a guarantee there. We have a rate lock where your prices won't continue to creep up on you. We have a future-proof guarantee that if you buy something from us and all of a sudden you feel like you're starting to fall behind your competition technology-wise, and it's a service we offer, then we can actually upgrade you. That's covered in the guarantee. And an overall satisfaction guarantee that simply says, we want to wake up every day and put our best foot forward to make you happy. And we have some guarantees wrapped around that. So, all right. So at this point, this is where I pass the ball to my co-presenter, Tony. We're going to talk a little the rest of the day about his technology. As I said, we're a technology aggregator. We bring in best of breed services. So we don't believe that we have to go out and build it from the ground up and live through all those painstaking years and raise all that capital to bring something to market. We go find people that have been cutting edge, that have sort of cut their teeth, that have earned their reputation, and that their DNA and their ethos aligns with ours. And TalkDesk is surely that. We've hit the ground running with these guys, and their technology is just jaw-dropping, for lack of a better word. So Tony, with that, I'm going to pass it off to you, my friend.
Thanks, Tom. So just a reintroduction. So I work for TalkDesk. I'm a channel manager. I work in partnership with Fusion Connect. I support them. I'm their primary contact on all things TalkDesk. So I work very closely with Fusion Connect and with Fusion Connect's partners and with their extended team to support go-to-market for contact center as a service, as delivered by TalkDesk. Through, again, working through our partner Fusion Connect. So I am here to support you all for whatever you need. We talked about customer loyalty at the top of this call here, and I won't read through the stats here and what each one of them means. I'll let you do that as I'm chatting away. But we already set as table stakes that everyone's looking to keep their customers loyal, keep customers with them in a time of change, bring on new customers if necessary. However, really to what happened there, Tom? You might want to go back to that previous screen. Sorry. Why don't you re-show that screen the way you had it before? It was coming in fine, Tom, if you want to go back to that as a single screen. But I'll keep talking. So the idea that customer experience is the driver to customer loyalty. I like to use frequently an example I have used, Tom's probably heard me tell a bunch of times. It's especially relevant during a time of pandemic where people have had to make quick adjustments on how they are working with their customers. The phone isn't necessarily the right way or the only way to do business with your customers, especially when maybe you're not in the office anymore. So the example I always give about a customer experience is ordering pizza. When pandemic came along and I ordered pizza from my favorite pizza place, but they had made no adjustments for what was happening now 2 years ago during COVID, where you were being told to be socially distant and not in inside spaces. And I remember ordering pizza, and when I walked into this one pizza place, they had the same takeout window in the same corner of this empty restaurant when they could have set up tables right in the middle and had people separated. Everyone was jammed to the corner going to pick up their pizza. And this is before masking became a thing, but 6 feet of separation was a thing. And I was really uncomfortable inside this one pizza place to pick up pizza. And this restaurant had never made any changes. And so look at that compared to the next time I went to order pizza from somebody else, where I was able to order it on an app on my phone, put in my credit card information. They had my phone number, so they were texting me to tell me when the pizza was going to be ready. They knew my car because I put it in. It was already. So I entered in what my car was, and so I drove up to the pizza place, I texted them, they walk out, put the pizza in my front window, and I drive away. And I'm like, wow, that's fabulous. And, you know, and then the best part too is the next time I ordered pizza, of course I ordered it from them. They already had my car. They already had my credit card. They knew who I was. They knew what my previous orders were. And none of that existed prior to the pandemic. And so the reality is that your customers need to be flexible, and for their customers, they need to adopt new technologies. They need to adopt it quickly, and they need to have the customer experiences that allows for their customers to come back again and again. And that's what, at least statistically, what this slide is trying to say. Go to the next slide, Tom, and we'll continue on. Thank you. So the contact center as a function becomes the center of your customer experience technology stack, and provides it across your entire organization. And you know, and maybe Tom, you're teeing this up. I'll steal your thunder for later on. But one of the things that Tom and I talk about frequently is, well, you know, when you're talking to customers out there, they might quickly object and say, oh, I don't have a contact center, I'm all set. And then you get into the question of, really? Well, do you have a help desk for your internal team, or even a support desk for your customers? Oh yeah, look at those 10 cubes over there. I got people on the phone over there. Okay, well, that's inbound contact center. That's a contact center function. What about your billing department? Do you have people who are dealing with your customers for billing? Oh yeah, there's the 3 people over there. Do they make inbound and outbound calls? Yep, they do inbound, outbound. They have mail. They do, you know, they do these different things. Okay, well, that's your contact center for your billing department, doing inbound and outbound contact. You know, and they're not just using phone. They might be using, email. So I can go on and on around this, but understand that whether it's any function inside your organization, whether you're providing inbound service, whether you're providing an outbound marketing to try to build your business, then you have a sales team who are taking inbound orders that can come in through really any channel, and you want to give your customers the option for every channel. As I was giving you the example of Verizon earlier in the call, I did the entire transaction without ever talking to anybody. All of these things are centered around the customer experience, and it's the contact center as a function that drives the customer experience and then the customer loyalty. Take a breath in case there's a question.
Great. Well, we have some questions, and I love this visual on your screen here, Tom, of showing all the different channels that are, you know, in use. So one question is about some of those channels in specific, and we don't have to answer all of these, but Gwen, great question. I'm putting your name in for the drawing. So Gwen's question is, can TalkDesk Chat integrate with, there's some various applications, WordPress, Slack, Press2Hop. Are there like integrations for all these different types of applications out there? Great question, Gwen.
It is a great question. Understand that TalkDesk, and this might be something too that people have experience with the contact center, and I think it's really hard because you're installing hardware or custom hardware, and you're installing software, and it takes a long time to find the space and put it in the data center. We are 100% cloud-based. We are delivered through the cloud. And we are architected as a cloud-based solution so that we are API driven in how we not only are offered, but are partnered and integrated with other third-party solutions. We have the best, for example, the best Salesforce integration in the industry. We have over 60 out-of-the-box integrations that includes Slack, it includes Salesforce, it includes Zendesk, it includes ServiceNow. Those are all out-of-the-box integrations that work today. Because we are API driven, we also have more than, let's see what the number is. I think it's close to 80 or more out-of-the-box applications who partner with us that are integrated today. So let's say you have a contact center that needs to integrate with a workforce management solution. If you're familiar with workforce management, the ability to to schedule your employees and to allow for vacations and et cetera and so on. Some of the leading ones, for example, are Calabria. or Variant Monet, if you've ever heard of either one of those. And so those are partners of TalkDesk who, working with our partner Fusion Connect can also be part of the integrated solution today for working with TalkDesk, and they basically again work out of the box. Even in our partnership with Fusion Connect, they have a number of things they work with today that we build in an integrated solution and offer an integrated solution that is both CCaaS and UCaaS based.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Tony. I mean, I think that's a great answer. For everybody, I really want to draw, ever since you and I first met, Tony, and one of the first slides you showed me was this one. I call it the crazy eight or the infinity signal, and it's really just brilliant, brilliantly laid out and very good summary. Can you kind of walk us through the journey? I mean, starting down here with the kind of pale blue. I mean, we don't need to go exhaustive, but just walk us through what this slide really means.
I mean, if you're a marketing professional in the top left in the light blue, and you're doing digital marketing, and again, this is sort of, you got to think about how you can use all of your channels to do outbound marketing, whether it's putting up content on social media, doing your PR through press releases, having websites and landing pages, and these are things too that, in technology wise, you can do in a syndicated way. So for instance, even Fusion Connect or TalkDesk can put up, say, syndicated content that can then be put out onto a third-party website so that people can, do their research on contact center as a service. These are all different channels that provide that contact, and when you're doing that, you're really trying to market solutions and bring customers, either existing or new customers, to come back and engage with you. And so you want to be able to build I don't want to call it a knowledge base. You want to build a base of information and a profile of the individual, so that when they do come to you, you know who they are, and you understand, what their needs are. So that's an important function of the contact center. And make no mistake, those channels, and being able to have those channels, have to flow back also into your CRM. So a must-have integration is integration with your Salesforce or with your Microsoft Dynamics or your Zoho CRM or whatever CRM of choice you have. And again, because we're 100% web-based, we can integrate into any CRM, even if it isn't out of the box. So that's just, in terms of outreach to the customers. And then, if you follow the purchase line through the yellow, the bottom right, now again, you want to make sales available in any channel that the person chooses. So we've talked about a number of them, but think about social media. I don't think people think about that a lot, but I use LinkedIn messaging a lot for speaking with people. Yeah. There's marketplaces on Facebook. The social media channels are communication channels that people want to use for whether it's customer support or customer service or sales. And so those channels of choice become an important part of just engaging with your customers to sell to them. Then in turn, the top right is, okay, now that you've sold to them, you want to be serviced. So how do I get support? Again, I like to use chat by default because, frankly, I'm doing my work during the day, or I got something else going on. I haven't got time to spend an hour or an hour and a half on hold waiting for an agent, and then having to, spend so much time explaining stuff. A lot of times I'll get on a chat session and I'm going back and forth and, doing other stuff while I'm providing information on chat. So I don't mind if that goes out for an hour or so, because I'm doing all kinds of stuff in between. But I've made the choice on how I want to engage on a service call or any kind of a sales call. And then finally, there's getting feedback from your customers once you do sell to them. How do you provide a survey? Everybody that I engage with always puts out a survey for me. Either I get something on my phone as a chat session, answer 3 easy questions, or at the end of a phone call, they ask me to ask questions before I hang up. Usually get some kind of email that says, that introduces a loyalty program. All of these come encompass the entire experience of working with a company, and all of them build information about who I am, so that and it's not big brother stuff, right? I mean, if you're fearful of having somebody know about you, then get off social media altogether. But in general, those companies you choose to be loyal to, you want them to know you, and you want to have a great experience.
Yeah. No, I think that's brilliant. And, if you kind of go back to the Fusion Connect kind of big three that we propagate, connect, protect, and accelerate. If you think about it, sort of your baby blue coloring there is where you're trying to get the word out as to who you are, where you're at, and how they interface with you. That's you reaching out to connect with people. They reach in to connect with you to order something. That's the yellow area. How do you want to, what's the purchase path look like for that customer? And then, the protect is the support model, right? The service model, where you're over there in the teal green. And then ultimately, as you come down to the purple area down in the bottom left, I mean, that's the accelerate piece now, right? I mean, you've managed to connect with somebody, you've secured their products and service, they've secured your products and services, and you're in the process of building a relationship with them. To that end, you're now at a place where you can begin to accelerate and get them to buy other products and services from you, or get them to tell others about you, take their temperature as to what their excess, which you can fine tune. So it really dovetails exactly with what we believe, which is connect, protect, and accelerate. So I really like that. I think this talks to a lot, and I think a lot of people don't really slow down these different portions of their business. They may focus a lot on the service side, but they don't really talk about the customer buying experience, or they do the customer buying experience, but they don't think about the other pieces of the puzzle. So really well done slide here. And it just generates a ton of stuff to talk about for sure.
And one of those questions, just really quick from Ed P, as in Papo, is just about those surveys and how effective do you think that those are? And is there a way to automate those? And great question, Ed.
So I'll take the first swipe at it, and Tony and I haven't talked about this, so he may have a different one. I think loyalty programs actually add a little bit of loyalty, and it's a small measure. I'm personally not a fan of the surveys. I know they're a necessary evil, but they're evil. I mean, you're trying to take an order from your customer, and you're trying to get in and get out, leave them alone, ship them their product, or give them their service, and get out of the way. And every time you take a survey, even if it's just one or two questions, you're to some extent slowing that down, but they're a necessary evil. Do they really show loyalty? I would argue probably not, other than the ones that are somewhat loyal will respond. The ones that aren't loyal won't, unless they just had a really bad experience. But Tony, your 2 cents on that one?
Yeah, I think there might be different ways to look at it. A lot of times I'll look at a customer survey, which is usually at the end of a call, agents are working hard. A lot of them are working hard to really do a good job, and they're under pressure to do a good job, and you want to sort of give them the support they need to do their job. I kind of look at it as when you try to buy local wherever you can, right? To be able to support local business, especially in a COVID world. So in many cases, when I'm dealing with with an agent, I'm trying to support them. That hey, they did a good job. I want to make sure it's known that they did a good job. I do try to put in comments rather than just clicking a box if I can, to provide good feedback. It's a way to just improve that service if there's an opportunity to improve that service. But that's just sort of one view of it. You can also look at it in terms of, is it a marketing opportunity to expand upon business, whether that's a survey that comes later, or I usually like the ones that are more immediate, that are at the end of a call. I do think they're valuable.
Okay.
So
cool. All right. Well, Sonia, good to move forward, or what?
Yeah, let's keep going. We have tons of questions, but whenever we get to a natural stopping point, we'll just talk through a bunch of them at once.
Well, we only have 1 or 2 more slides that are of merit, right? And then we have a video we want to kind of share with everybody. But let's get to this next slide real quick. So I think this slide's really telling as well, Tony, because so many people basically say, hey, well, I have a customer, or I know a friend that is good. or, they have a call center today, right? Is it serving their needs? I mean, why should I even bother to talk to them about it? If I'm a customer and I've come to your lunch and learn, Tony, I have a call center. Yeah, it's good enough. I sunk the cost into it. What makes TalkDesk a little bit different in this regard?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think again for the customer experience that we when you look to the left, and we've already talked about this, that what I want when I'm dealing with everything from the pizza shop to the phone company to the doctor's office, to my bank, to my credit union, is, when I'm reaching out to them, I want them to help me. I need something, I need to buy something, I need to fix something, I need to upgrade something. And when I do that, I want to be sure that when I want them to help me, I want to choose the channel of how I do that. So I want them to help me, and my need is a channel choice. When I am coming in there, I want them to know me. I don't want to have to go through a long, drawn out information session of who are you again, and where are you calling from, and why are you calling me? I want to be instantly known with some, either a caller ID or some kind of identifier that says, hello, Mr. Mashed Potato. So that's data driven, being able to reach into the customer database that we have built on Salesforce or the CRM of choice that is available in real time, so that when I reach out through my channel of choice, they know exactly who I am. They may or may not know exactly why I'm calling. In some cases they may, depending on my history. And then finally, I want to be wowed. Again, that might be an example of being wowed. Oh, why I'm calling, because I've already, 5 days ago, I was ordering that new part for my wash machine, and so that I'm calling to get a status on that. I don't have to bother asking the question. Yep. You already know that. Yeah. Or I have such a great experience with the pizza parlor where they dropped the pizza in my front window that I'm like, wow, that was really cool. I want to do that again. So that could be automation driven, it could be customer experience driven. But so these are all the things that TalkDesk fulfills with our web-based and subscription-based solution. But the issue you're going to have, and this is where when you're talking to your customers, understand that what they have today is not ready for this. Many of them have on-premise phone systems that were built 30 years ago. And if they can make and place phone calls, but it's not ready for the digital age. They're all siloed channels. Maybe they added chat along the way. Maybe they added email along the way. Maybe they have some service for SMS, but none of those pieces are integrated. When we talk omni-channel, understand it's not multi-channel, it's omni-channel. It means I can talk to you, and I can email you, and I can text you, and all those things are working together, not separately, and really through the same interface as well.
Right.
Right. Multiple interfaces. Think about the agent experience in a contact center. It's one thing to have a good customer experience. Think about the agent experience. You know how hard it is to hire agents? You know how hard it is to retain those good agents? If they have a lousy experience as a worker, you're not going to keep them.
Yeah.
So you have to be integrated. And again, the challenges you have today with existing technology, they're not integrated. They can't adapt to these changes. They're very expensive, and there is no AI-driven capability in these existing platforms. So most of who you're going to talk to either has no solution or has a 20 or 30-year-old solution that cannot be adapted the way TalkDesk could, bring them up to the 21st century.
No, I love it. And I love the fact you use the term omni-channel. Omni-channel really leads to, and I started thinking of extremes. I mean, most of us are used to phone calls, probably emails. Chat's even become a little more common, but think social media. If I wanted to reach a customer or a provider through, Facebook, can I do it? And the answer is with true omni-channel, you can. But then does that history come over? If I ultimately get to where I'm chatting with somebody in Facebook and it needs to progress to a phone call, does that history come with it? Do we have to start over and rebuild? And we know that all comes. But so I'm a company. I have a call center. My call center doesn't integrate with Facebook. It doesn't do chat. what do I do? And the answer is, well, you need to step up to something like a talk desk. And in doing so, is that an insurmountable cost? And the answer is no. That's the power of the cloud. And, a cloud technology is you basically just pay to get it onboarded, but you don't have to go buy heavy duty equipment. And therefore you don't lose a lot of that momentum. It's all going forward. And the other thing about being born in the cloud too is you're always bolting on new things, right? So you may not have had Facebook 2 or 3 years ago. You had that integration, all of a sudden it's available to you, and you really didn't need to go out and acquire that. So it's that really powerful proposition there. I like it.
Quick question about that. Is it something, because you've mentioned the pizza shop and I'm thinking small businesses. I know we have customers of all sizes on today with large organizations and small. Is it feasible for a mom and pop shop to invest in something like this, or is this more mid-sized enterprise? I know that.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, simply stated, absolutely.
Yeah.
We provide the scale and the price point that can scale from just a few seats to many thousands.
Yeah. No, it's a brilliant point, Sonia. And that's actually one of the things about that is, let's just say, to Tony's example, there's a local pizza shop and they're scratching their head. Hey, people can't come in the door anymore. What can we do to still give them a wow experience? How can we make them feel known and those type of things? And the answer is, yeah, you can spin up, 3, 5, 10 call center seats and start taking orders and giving these, having these tools available. But no, a lot of the stuff you see presented today, if we get into the nitty-gritty details, used to be a $500,000 investment, right? At least.
Yeah.
If I wanted some of this cool stuff at my call center, I was going to have to drop about $500,000 minimum to kind of get my company up and running. Not the case today. No, it's typically basically just a small onboarding fee. That's for Tony and his team to kind of come in and understand how you do business, how you want to do business, and tailor their environment to work for yours. And then you turn them up, just like you turn up a Gmail account, basically,
And you're up and
and I feel
running
like customers, I was just going to say, I feel like customers expect more touch points now, almost because there's less proximity to the human being in terms of social distancing, and we're spaced out and we may not even see people anymore or interact with them, but you still feel cared for and taken care of if you work with an organization that has all these touch points that may be digital, but you're still, cared about. They've thought of every need, and like they know why you're calling in advance, and they, follow up with you afterwards to make sure things went well. I mean, those types of touch points don't require someone to be there, shaking your hand or those types of things. So I think they're really good points that you have both brought up.
Yeah.
So real quick on this slide, we don't need to go into much detail. You guys can certainly read the bullet points. We've said it 100 times over that TalkDesk is pretty unique in the fact they were born in the cloud. Many of the other call center platforms out there just simply weren't. They've transitioned to the cloud, but they weren't born there. So there's still some legacy issues they have going on. TalkDesk gives a ton of their money back to R&D, and that and it's evidence in the fact that they've launched quite a few patents. You can see on the far right hand side where they're an industry leader by far and away. Name the venue you want to kind of grade them on. They've been there. In the middle is kind of interesting. They have an incredibly high CSAT score, customer satisfaction score. So that speaks well to them. But one of the unique things about them, and I'm pretty well versed in who else is out there in the space. To my knowledge, Tony, you guys are the only ones that offer 100% uptime SLA, service level agreement. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's funny. So it's interesting because I've actually heard of people that have spent money on these very expensive on-prem systems and some of the other somewhat cloud-oriented systems, and yet they have had outages, and it just drives the customer crazy. Here's this focal point. We've said it time and time again, the contact center is the focal of the customer experience. And if that focal point goes down 5 minutes, 50 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, you're really bad form and very challenging for the customer. So one thing that you get with TalkDesk is 100% uptime.
Yeah, and it matches what your slides from earlier, right? Where as our partner Fusion Connect, you're very, very invested in ensuring 100% uptime for your customers' infrastructure. So so that speaks so strongly to one of the many reasons why we're partnering together is our same philosophy and our same support levels to our clients and customers.
Yeah. We've all seen the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Bottom line is talk desk scores. They're up there in the area. And some of the people that you see up in that area with them are not born in the cloud, and they're losing ground quickly to some of the native born guys that we see here. Here's a little bit of some industry stats, if you will, from a couple different sizes. We can, Talk Desk and, is well versed at supporting customers of all shapes and sizes. And so, I mean, just to give you a flavor from 5,000, agents, one of the things that we can talk about too, and you hit it on one of your other slides, Tony, is that your platform is so easy to use, as is many web-based tools today. It's so easy to use. It's really intuitive, and you can bring agents up to speed pretty quickly. And again, they're one of your internal customers. To your point, you got to keep them happy if you want to keep them around.
Right. Yeah. So we can get somebody up and running quickly, and then we can expand quickly too. Some of these examples here are they're not, you don't launch 5,000 agents in one shot. You have to start and build from there. So, so that's the story with Skip the Dishes is that it was an example of how we are able to scale quickly, to a high number of agents, especially again, Skip the Dishes is a food delivery service in Canada. So, so whether it's Uber Eats or anything here in the States that you might use, you can understand during a pandemic when you need it. And that's like my pizza example. When you needed to very quickly launch something comprehensive, it's a matter of getting it up and running in a matter of weeks, not in a matter of years. And it's not $1 million investment, to your point. So these examples speak very, very much to that.
Good, super. So here's just a few logos, different companies from all around the world that are actually on the Talk Desk platform. Yeah, so kind of somewhat self-explanatory, I think. And then one last one that actually similar, another logo slide. This one's aligned a little bit more by vertical, just to show you and kind of open up your mind to a couple of different companies. I mean, look at that, Pete's Coffee. I mean, who would have thought a coffee shop done that has, moved into the call center realm, but definitely a wide variety of customers.
Yeah, I don't think it's on here, but one that we have is Peloton also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This, and I think it's part of the video that we're going to show too, is though we are built to be able to work across industries, we also recognize the need to take that customer experience and as you try to drive customer experience in financial services or healthcare, that there's a lot of efforts that go into that, whether it's the product and how it can be integrated with the back end with key providers in those spaces, or how you can take the agent experience and give them the tools that they need to be able to have them prepackaged and ready to support the needs of that specific vertical. We're very good at that as well. And so in terms of how we work with our partners, like Fusion Connect, and how we work with you, we can get very specific industry wise with a team back on our side who can help support and answer questions in the vocabulary and the language with the experience in those verticals to be able to assure a bank, assure a credit union, a healthcare provider, whether they're a hospital or whether they're what we would deem a payer, somebody who's a health insurance provider who pays those bills. We have experts in those verticals, and we're building on it all the time. We're adding retail, and we've been working in what's called regulated industries, which encompasses our Fed and state and local and utilities industries. So we can speak in the language of the industry and give customer examples, as we showed on the slide, of how we've already sold into those verticals.
So I'm going to do a quick video this is about a little 3.5-4 minute video we're going to show. And this is just one company that you guys have one company / industry that you guys have jumped into and helped out. And then Sonia, after that, we'll jump into Q&A. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Let's do it.
This is Julia, and this is how she spends a typical weekend. But today isn't typical because she's discovered her washing machine is leaking. and flooding the laundry room floor, and now there's damage to deal with. Luckily, Julia is a customer of Acme Insurance, who leverage TalkDesk for their contact center solutions. A water leak sensor IoT device has already detected the problem and instantly sends an alert to her phone. Julia is able to easily launch the Acme Insurance app, add pictures of the damage, and submit her claim. Sam is a claim specialist at Acme Insurance. With TalkDesk CX Cloud, he's able to work remotely and still have access to everything he needs to help policyholders through the claims process. When Julia submits her claim, Sam receives the assignment. Using Salesforce along with TalkDesk Workspace, he has a full view of the claim and Julia's policy. As he scans the claim and pictures, he realizes the damage is extensive, so he immediately sends Julia an empathetic text to ensure she's okay and asks to call her directly. Once connected, Sam invites her to add video to their call for an easier and more personal interaction. Julia receives a text message with a link. With just a tap, she seamlessly launches the video stream with Sam to discuss next steps. In Salesforce, Sam sees a list of contractors in Julia's area based on her address. Using TalkDesk, Sam is able to conveniently share those with her via email. TalkDesk Agent Assist also notifies Sam that Julia qualifies to save 15% if she bundles her auto policy, and she can save out-of-pocket expenses for the next incident if she opts for a lower deductible. Sam explains the new offer and policy update to Julia. She likes the recommendation and decides to opt in. Julia receives a text message with a link to the new policy, which she's able to easily review and digitally sign. The next day, Julia calls Acme Insurance to get an update on her claim status. Her call is answered by TalkDesk Virtual Agent.
Thank you for calling Acme Insurance regarding the status of your claim. To verify your identity, please tell me the last 4 digits of your social security number.
9857.
Thank you. Please confirm your policy number.
1234.
Thanks, Julia. You are now authenticated. Are you calling about your recent home insurance claim?
Yes.
If you like, I can go ahead and pass you to an agent. The average hold time is 2 minutes. Or I can continue helping and resolve your issue now.
No, I prefer not to wait. Can you give me an update on the claim status?
Sure. Let me check. Your claim is being reviewed and should have a result in the next 3 hours or less. The water damage team is scheduled to arrive between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Did you also have a question about your new policy?
No.
Thank you for being a great customer of Acme Insurance. Can I be of further assistance?
Nope, thank you. I've got what I need now.
Thank you, Julia. Have a great day. And please take a moment to rate our service quality.
An hour later, Julia gets a notification that her claim estimate is ready and it matches the quote she received earlier. She accepts the estimate and is alerted again when the funds are deposited to her account. And to show her appreciation, she sends a tweet about her great experience. Acme Insurance has another happy policyholder, made possible with TalkDesk CX Cloud.
There you go.
I love that she sends a tweet afterwards. That's great. If only every happy customer does that for us, right? Well, that's great. That's great. So we have some quick comments and we only have just a few minutes left. There's a comment here from, let's see, John V, as in Victor. He says he used the Peloton support to reach tech support, and he said it was a great contact center experience. So we have an actual customer of a customer on, and what's better than that as a testimonial, right? That's great, John. We'll add you to the drawing too, just for adding some commentary there. That's great. Jason C, as in Charlie, asked a question early on just about a callback feature and also SMS features. So we'll put your name in there twice since you asked two separate questions. Do you want to just kind of talk about the SMS features and any callback features, Tony?
Yeah, I think I might have
Tom?
just simply answered them in the chat and said, yes, we support callback, we support SMS. We do get questions about MMS. We don't support MMS today. I think what's good to understand about how those features are supported is that the tool itself is very customizable, and we always like to talk about, and this is important, is that the mantra of clicks not code, meaning that if you are, for example, integrating Salesforce, that can take months or a year or more just to get a Salesforce person to do coding on your behalf for a project. You get into the queue and it's very, very expensive. And the reality is we don't need any of that to support integration with Salesforce and TalkDesk. You can do it all inside the tool with configuration. So clicking through to configure it rather than having to do any kind of coding. So even when it comes to these questions, how do you do callback and how do you do SMS as a channel? But these are all configurable capabilities inside TalkDesk, and the flexibility of it is such as that it doesn't require some great expert who has to come in and do any coding or build this massive project plan. You could, for example, deploy sort of a front end auto attendant capability that does routing, and maybe in there you put in a choice of, hey, if you want to call back, press 1, and then you'll be put into the queue for a callback. And so these are all so the capabilities are all there, and not only that, they're easy to use, they're easy to configure and work with.
Great. Another question. So let's see, we have one from Ed P, as in Papa. What can out of the box integrations be customized?
Yeah, I think I answered that too. Yes. I mean, I answered it simply with a yes, but yes.
Go on.
yeah. And it goes back to the clicks not code answer as well. I mean, there can be, in Salesforce, you can have any number of fields that you care about that can be either something you want to have come in a pop-up when somebody dials in, for example. You want a window to pop up to the agent so they instantly see information about Sonia, and it could be anything, where you're calling from, what's your birthday, what's your favorite color. And you can make decisions on, well, what information do I really care about Sonia as a pop-up, or what information do I want to route the call, because maybe Sonia is a loyal customer who I want to go to only my top agents, so I want to do routing of that call. That's more than skill-based routing. It's really customer-based routing on the profile of the customer. So all those are customized capabilities. There is, again, we are an API platform too. So anything that would require a custom integration with a backend or a custom application is also supported with our published API.
Great. Well, we have way more questions than I think we're going to be able to get to. So great questions. And if you want to speak to Tony and Tom to talk about your needs for call center applications or any other technology, we have over 500 different providers that we work with. Reach out to the agent, the partner, the person who invited you today. Reach out to myself. We are happy to connect you directly with Tom and Tony and their teams to talk about your things that you're looking for. Thanks for all the great commentary. And I think I have maybe we have time for one more question. And that one I'm going to take from Ed. It's the very last question to answer, and I think it's a good one. Does TalkDesk help? We showed happy customers and it's all happy, but does TalkDesk have any plan for helping customers that are less than happy? Do you have anything in place for dealing with frustrated customers or anything like that you've helped organizations come up with in a planning for those not so happy moments?
Yeah, we actually, the video that Tom was showing was interesting. That if you were following that last part of it where the character was talking to the virtual agent, you might have seen a transcript come up that was happening as a result of that interaction. And so part of what we can do as far as the AI and intelligence is that you can see within there, we can do so like detect whether their mood might be, right? So and of course the term escapes me, but you can see
Sentiment.
Sentiment.
Thank you. So you can see the sentiment, it comes up, you know, if it's neutral, it's gray, if it's happy, it's green, if it's kind of angry, it's red. And that could be something based on the volume of your voice or the words that you choose. Gee, I'm really upset nobody called me recently and I was expecting a call back on this claim. That can come up as a negative sentiment, right? So you can make intelligent choices on that. The chatbot can say, "Oh, I'm sorry that you're upset. Would you like to speak with an agent?" You know, so you can trigger off that. You can certainly, you know, trigger maybe an after call follow up becomes something that comes from that, again, in an automated way that says, you know, this person is going to get a call back because you know, they scored on sentiment or on word spotting in a way that puts them in a category that says, well, we want to call them back and make sure that they're a happy, loyal customer. So there's ways to, through AI, to understand that and work with that in the platform.
Sonia, I know you need to do a raffle. Gwen says that she's actually with the customer and they have a question that basically says that the chat system is out of Estonia. Expands.
Or maybe, do you serve clients in Estonia? I think that was.
Can you serve international clients? Is the answer?
Yes, we are a global company.
Great, and I got Clay, C as in Charlie, Gwen, M as in Mike, John, B as in Bravo, Theo, O as in Oscar, have all asked for the report. So I will send that. If there's anyone else, please type your name in and we'll send that report to you. I'm going to do the drawing. So, because we're running out of time, we'll see you back here.
I'll pick.
Okay, good job. And Tom picks Jason C as in Charlie out of Southern California. Happy to have you on today, Jason. And thanks again, we're talking about customer loyalty. Thanks for those who keep coming back. It means the world to us, and we hope this is educational, fun, informative. If you have any advice or questions or ideas for any of these virtual roundtables, please reach out to us. Have a great rest of your week. And thank you, Tony and Thomas. It was great to have TalkDesk and Fusion Connect on today, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.